So, hey everybody, it's Mike Sullivan with Building Better Communities. Today we have Dennis Ralls, who is in beautiful Southern California in Chino. And Dennis, thank you for carving out some time for us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And what was your journey like? Before the podcast, you were sharing that it was a little unorthodox, which I think is cool. What was your journey like to become the city traffic engineer?
Yeah, sure. So, like I mentioned before we started here, my journey was a little unorthodox. Normally you pursue civil engineering as your basis, and then once you're in that, a lot of people will specialize. And some people will find that they really gravitate towards traffic engineering. My journey actually started. My neighbor was the city traffic engineer for an agency, and I just knew I wanted to work with computers at the time. I didn't really, you know that really even that civil engineering was even a career path really at that point. But he said, hey, I've got this opening at the city. You'd be the kind of guy we're looking for. Why don't you come in and apply for it? So I did, and got an internship, and slowly started working my way through various engineering disciplines in the public works department. And then it was really uh, that transition to the traffic that caught my eye. So what was going on is I worked for an agency that was building a traffic management center, this nice computer system that connects to all the traffic signals. And my dad, coincidentally, was an electrician and built signals for a living. So there was this kind of family connection, and then I thought, oh well, that would be kind of cool. Have computers control traffic signals and be in charge of that system and help build it and design it. And so I got my foot into that career. I ended up with a business degree in technology and operations management, and kind of thought that was sort of parallel to what I was doing, because I didn't really, even at that point, knew that I was going to be a city traffic engineer. I had mentors though who pushed me to keep furthering my education, who they saw something in me and were poking at me to keep bringing that out. And so it came to the point where, as we matured in the industry, that I was kind of next in line. So they go get your license, go get your professional engineering license. And so because I wasn't a civil engineer initially, I had to go out back and figure that out. And so I'd been in the industry enough time to where I can do the engineering training waiver here in California, and was able to sit and get my engineering degree. I got a master's degree in transportation engineering, and that allowed me to sit and take the exam. And that's how I became a traffic engineer. And what I really found was that I was just drawn to it. Sure, the computer part was sort of that initial, what drew me to the industry, but then it was what we were actually doing and the impacts we were having that really drew me in. And it wasn't like one of those careers I picked. I feel like the career picked me. And so it was really one of those things where it was like magnetism, like a moth to a flame. I just like, oh, this is what I was intended to do. I was intended to do this. So
Yeah.
that's what really kind of drew me and brought me into being now the city traffic engineer.
That's awesome, and it's cool because your dad was in the biz, so now it's you're working in the family business, so to speak, same industry, which is really cool.
Yes.
And what's your favorite part of being a city traffic engineer? Well, like, what gets you out of the bed in the morning? You're like, I just want to go to work. What is that?
Oh, it's that direct impact you can have. What a lot of people want, that instant gratification,
Mm.
and it's not necessarily instant,
Hmm.
but there's a direct impact that you can see and feel in everything that you do. You'll get the resident who's concerned about speeding on their street,
Mm.
and you'll work with the police department and do a traffic safety survey and look at the metrics and go, okay, yeah, there's something here. We need to do something about this. And so you get together with the stakeholders and you try to put all the resources together and go, okay, if we apply this traffic calming measure, or maybe we do need a new stop sign at this location. There's things that we can do to help. And when you actually are able to solve that issue and put that into effect, and get that problem solved, and getting that thank you, that occasional thank you, they're sometimes hard to come by, but when they come, they just that problem solving, that impact that you have to really to really improve someone's quality of life. You
Yeah.
know, and especially being in a local agency and government, sometimes we don't always have the best reputation of you
Mm.
know being doers and getting things done, right? Or that it takes forever. And I really try to break that stereotype. And I've gone out to people's homes, knocked on their doors, like, okay, show me what you see. What are you looking at here? What's truly your concern? Is the car going 25 miles an hour, or is it going 35 miles an hour? And then let's take a look at what that looks like. And go, okay, yeah, no, you have a truly a concern here that requires our attention, and taking care of that. So
Yeah.
I really love that solving those quality of life issues from a traffic standpoint.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Where you can see the direct impact and how it enhances the lives and the safety of people around you in your community. Super cool. Um, and thank you for sharing that. And thank you for doing that. And if there's someone out there, maybe in middle school or high school, or they're even just a new engineer at a city, what would you say to him or her, like words of encouragement?
I would say build your network, lean on each other. The one thing I find about engineering in general, and specifically traffic engineering, is it's a small community, and even though you might be approached with a similar issue, someone else may have already solved that issue a way you may not have even have been anticipating, right? So uh, don't be afraid to build that network, to ask for help, to lean on your peers, and that helps with a few things, right? You're able to sometimes step away from your environment and look at it from different points of view. It's also just kind of good to sort of uh, hey, I've got this problem I've never encountered before, and I'm thinking about doing these things. It allows you to sort of uh, ask for advice from your peers. And what I found with this industry specifically, especially since you as being a licensed professional engineer, you have to have other engineers vouch for you, right? Like, you can't become an engineer without other engineers saying that you're good enough to become one. So that really bakes in like a mentorship program. Find mentors. Find those people who see something in you, like someone did in me early on, and don't be afraid. You might end up being the next traffic engineer for an agency somewhere, and be looking at these problems that you always wondered, like, why is this like this? We'll be the person that takes a look at it and go, well, it can be different, it can be better, and be the person to help make that improvement.
Yeah, I love that. That's such wise advice, Dennis. Just that the mentorship and then bouncing ideas off of other people. Maybe your colleagues have said, "Oh yeah, we just had that in our city, and here's what we did." Like, "Oh wow!" So you're all kind of a team. You're all working together. So that's beautiful. And thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for your time, and thanks for your encouraging words. Really appreciate it.
Sure thing, Mike. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Wherever people go, one signal at a time, one project, one design, making tomorrow brighter than today. They're building better communities, keeping families safe on every street, helping traffic move, helping dreams come true, making life a little easier for me and you.